flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous
Can you
pursuits.
believe the blasted game crashed during the final bloody battle? Same thing.
He even failed to turn up for his own
I mean,
coronation
really,
as
of
emperor,
all the places to
which did
crash,
little to endear him to the Pope.
couldn't wait until after some sort of save point or anything. No.
Wenceslas the Idle did not impress
So now I've
the
got to do that
imperial
battle
nobility
again.
either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his...
Get on with the game. You know, I bet all it had was a cutscene to do. Pretty much. Cutscene, maybe a bit of... Or go somewhere, get a cutscene, have a chat, roll credits, done. Stupid thing is it didn't have to even kill the stream off to do it. It's just that stupid app on the Xbox and the PS4 for that matter. Nah, I had before anybody thinks it's just the Xbox. PS4 as well, but if the game is stopped for any reason, crashing, you come out of it, what have you, it stops streaming. Twitch refuses to stream anything. Won't stream your dashboard or anything at all. Won't put up a screen. Little screensaver things, nothing. You're just forced to restart your stream because stupid crashing games and all that nonsense. But I'm not bitter. I'm super joyful not. Well, let's do this bleeding nonsense again.
Since...
Just so.
Alright,
There's no reason to. You won't have another.
I'm ready.
Glad to. We're going to attack. The attack.
And the... I'll...
Keep. Good luck. Goodbye.
Seen it. I mean, if I could, I'd save mid-battle. But I can't. Because it won't let me. I'm calling it right now, it won't let me. So even if I'd wanted to, I don't think I could have avoided all this being redone again. It's a good battle and all, but having to do it again just because the game crashed rather than by my own choice is a bit shit. Oh well. Can't be helped. So let's do it a goddamn again. I don't need no shields. Out of the way. Let's go kill some scum again. Wait your goddamn turn, you son of a bitch. Grabbing odd at me. Leave as few buggers alive as possible. You've just crashed game, I'm gonna be after goddamn minute. Can't use the schnapps, so... Oh well. Can't use that gun though. I do have been able to take a marigold. Maybe that should help my health a bit. Piss off being able to count when I can't see me come, dickhead. I cracked the guy in the head, cool. They're all hanging around because of him. And this guy. Turn around already. Get off me, you suspect. What's that guy doing with his fisticuffs? Guy's bold, isn't he? There's no fire up, shall I? Still got the marigold affecting me. Would appear now. I'll look fine. Stop this spazzing out shit. It's like it's trying to lock onto somebody in combat, like when it forces you into a lock in combat. Like that and burn around, get your ass moving. What the? Alright. Leveled up agility and defense. I didn't get a point this time for for whatever reason. Not that I care. Oh, a lot less bad guys down here this time. Game's taking it easy on me, obviously. It's like, it's fight already, let him have a few less. Question is it going to crash during the cutscene again? Because if it is, I'm going to be awfully goddamn annoyed. Anytime game. Knock knock.
Sir, we should give the order.
Let's see if Istvan Toth can worm his way out of this one.
Probably.
Don't tempt fate, Hanush.
Istvan! It's over! You want us to come and get you?
I wouldn't advise that. Your friend Divish wants to see his wife alive again.
And Sir Radzig? Are both hostages unharmed?
For now, Hanush, unless circumstances change.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. My guest is also safe and sound, but he's also quite keen to go home. I imagine you feel the same way. It's been a long time since you warmed yourself at your own hearth.
I'm in no hurry. I've plenty of supplies here, grand view and excellent company. What more could I want?
Your freedom!
Freedom? Freedom to get an arrow in the back?
Sir, you're all noblemen here, all bound by honor. I give you my word as a knight and lord, and that of my companions. If you release Lady Stephanie and Sir Radzig, you may leave the
Unharmed.
castle with your men and go on your way unharmed.
And just how far will we get? What good will it do me if your men attack us in the woods instead of here?
If you give me your word of honor that you will leave and never return, I promise you safe passage to the boundary of this fiefdom. What happens after that is up to you and the will of God Almighty.
Don't forget the sword.
Very well then, but I want a small safeguard. I'll give you her ladyship, but Radzig comes with me. I'll release him in Skalitz.
Out of the question! Is our word not good enough for you?
Is mine not good enough for you? I swear I'll release him when I get to a safe distance.
I'll go with him, Hanush. Let the Lady Stephanie have her freedom now.
Father!
Don't worry, son. I trust Lord Toth's self-interest more than his word. He wouldn't be fool enough to harm me.
If you're certain, Radzig.
Prepare horses and supplies, and tell your men to pull back. We'll come down.
You heard him. Get to work. And any man who breaks this truce answers to me.
So, are you really going to let them go?
My word is my bond, Henry.
He's a cutthroat and a liar. Good men are dead because of him. What's to stop us from skewering him as soon as he sets foot outside?
Our honor.
If you let him go, he'll do the same again. Or worse.
God's justice will find him. Then, we'll get a taste of my mace.
If we break our word of honor, we have none. And without honor, we are nothing.
Exactly.
Never fear. Your father will be all right.
We'll hunt down those vermin yet.
Bring the horses.
Here she is, as I promised. Not a hair on her head harmed.
Divish,
Stephanie.
forgive me, husband. I'm sorry
For what?
for letting them into the castle.
Come now, my dear. You're not to blame.
I didn't know who he was. He said he was your friend.
Never mind. Did he hurt you?
No.
I hope your word can be trusted.
Certainly more than yours.
If everything goes as agreed, I'll set Radzig free in Skalitz. If anyone tries to follow us, I'll kill him.
We won't.
My apologies for keeping you from your father, but you'll see each other soon enough. Oh, I almost forgot. Your sword. I expect you'll want it back after all the trouble you went to. Actually, you know what? I think I'll keep it. As a memento.
This isn't over. I'll find you.
I look forward to it. Yeah!
Quick! To the battlements! We have to see which way they go! Oh, they really are heading for Skalitz. Mount up, Henry. You've heard what he'll do if we follow them. We're not going to follow them. We just have to collect your father. Or do you want him to walk back here when they release him?
Good point. Save game. Save game. Don't let me go through all that again because you crashed. Save. Or don't. Well.
What will you do now?
Not long ago, I only made plans 3 days ahead at most. Maybe I really could do something.
Yeah.
Why did I just interrupt him?
This is quite a turnaround, isn't it?
What do you mean?
How long have we known each other? A few weeks?
Something like that?
Before that, I was chasing wenches around Rattay and you were digging turnings. And now look at us. A pair of veterans.
I was an apprentice blacksmith, not a turnip digger.
Same difference, you silly bugger.
Nick my line, the thieving swine. I call people silly buggers.
What do you think? Will Toth keep his word?
You better do.
He's a noble, right?
Yes. So am I.
So Radzig will be there.
So is Henry, apparently.
What should I say to him?
Don't worry. It'll come to you. You'll see.
Well, I just hope he'll be there. Alive.
So we're going the reverse course what we came to get here at the beginning of the game.
The way you found Toth. Sneaking into Brannick all on your own.
It's because I'm a certified
what I mean
badass,
is,
that's why.
Hats off to you, Hal. You wouldn't catch me doing that.
Truth is, I didn't think much about it. I just felt I had to do it.
Plus, Hans, you're better for dealing with noble nonsense. You know, court intrigue and shit. Let Henry do all the sneaky buggery nonsense. Tag team the world, it'd be great. Be the best of friends. A partnership, as it were. Game could have saved at this point, so I don't have to do all that nonsense again if things go awry. My horse.
There's no sign of them. Move on. There!
Nice that grass to finally spawn in. And Radzig.
I'm glad to see Istvan kept his word, sir.
Not half as glad as I am, Your Grace.
Well, we
Thanks,
kept our
Jess.
word too, and now Toth has had his head start and he's fair game. Which way do they go?
To the north, but I would be careful, Sir Hans.
Fear not, Your Grace. I have twice as many men as he. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure the two of you have a lot to say to each other. Let's go!
Are you alright, Father?
I am. They treated me quite decently. Although they did steal my horse, I'll have to go back on foot.
It looks like it's all over.
Not by a long shot. It won't be over until we get this mess cleared up.
We catch that bastard. How could we let him go?
Would you rather we killed him? Even if it meant Lady Stephanie and I died too?
No, of course not. But what was to stop us from killing him after the exchange?
Honor?
Honor?
If the word of honor of a nobleman could not be trusted, then he would never have agreed to the exchange.
Where's the honor in abandoning your son?
You know how it is. We were young. It happened. And I couldn't marry a commoner. Then your father, Martin, came along and took care of both of you.
He knew it.
What? That I was your father? Certainly. He was a great man. He took you as his own. And always kept an eye on you. Of that you can be sure.
I know so little about his past.
He told you nothing. Oddly enough, even though you don't have his blood, you're very like him. When he was around your age, he became bored of his trade and set out to see the world. He lived through many adventures, even fought in a war.
In a war?
Yes, in Poland, I believe. And I don't think he cared much for it.
That's why he wanted me to stay at home.
He spent some time in Prague, then settled in Kuttenberg. But it seems he quarreled with someone there and finally ended up here. You know the rest.
I loved him, but even so, I somehow always had a feeling I didn't quite fit in.
It was in your blood, I suppose.
I lost the one thing I had left from him. Your sword.
Ah, the sword. It's not my sword. It's yours. For a moment there, it was so near, yet so far. Oh well, it can't be helped.
It was almost within my grasp, but just then I had something else on my mind.
Well, I think we may yet have a chance to get it back. This business with Toth is not yet over, unfortunately.
That's a chance I'd welcome. Not just to get the sword, but that bastard Istvan too. And then I'll find that German whoreson who torched Skalitz, and I'll slay him with it. I'll never forget his face. Or his name. Marquardt von Aulitz.
Those are noble intentions, son. But don't forget there are other things in this world that are worth living for.
Like what?
Look around you. Blue skies overhead, green grass underfoot, beautiful girls. Good wine, a few good friends, and a fine steed under your backside.
Well, he's not wrong.
Those are things worth living for. Though I can't deny that swine who killed your mother must pay for what he did. But it's better not to dwell too much on that at the cost of those other things.
True.
On the subject of steeds, I think we'll have to ride like the Knights Templar.
How's that?
2 up. One day I'll tell you how they got their seal. You can take the front.
Very well.
It's like I always imagined it would be, teaching my boy to ride. Although it would be better if you're a little smaller. My word, it's all go today, isn't it? I wonder who this is.
Jobst.
I think I know. It's Margrave Jobst.
The king's cousin? I wonder what he wants. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
I guess. Credits. Well, there we have it, folks. The end of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Basically all we have left in the game is any DLC that comes out. But yeah, that was good. Very enjoyable game. Of course, you know, if you forget the forget all the what's the word? Glitches and bugs and crashes and pop-ins and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was a good game. Like I say, it's a shame that they didn't. It's a shame they didn't take a bit longer. But you know, obviously they can't really, you know, drag it out for eternity fixing things, or else they'd never release it. But a bit more time in oven might have helped alleviate some of the initial teething problems when the game came out initially as well. So they could have they could have had a bit more time to find other problems and all that, without having to work on DLC at the same time. I mean, obviously the start of the DLC relatively close to when it will be done, I suppose, but now they have to split three ways, working on the next game, working on DLC and fixing. Nevertheless, it was a good game. What is this nonsense in the background? I guess I can just close this in there. Yeah, I'm just going to skip this nonsense. Ooh, cutscenes.
You're doing well, son.
Well,
Father.
Come now. You know whose side you.
It doesn't matter now. I miss you, Amar. I miss you very much.
You'll be fine. I'm proud of you.
For what? I let you down. I lost the sword. I let that bastard get away.
Don't be so hard on yourself. There was nothing you could have done to save us. And someone has to live and carry the torch. As for the sword, it's just a thing.
You didn't want me fighting.
Now look at me. Standing up to evil isn't the same as sowing its seeds. You did what was right. I have to leave you now.
Oh, please.
You know I can't stay.
Will I ever see you again?
One
God
day,
knows.
when you die. If you're a good lad.
Make us proud.
Don't go.
Don't go. No.
What on earth were you dreaming about? I couldn't wake you, and it's well past dawn. Sir Radzig wants you at the upper castle. The lords are in council with Jobst.
Right.
Alright.
I'll go straight away.
What is it?
It's just... I don't know how to address you anymore. All of a sudden you're Sir Radzig's son, hobnobbing with lords and ladies. And here's me, as common as muck.
Oh, give over, you idiot. Do I look like a lord to you?
Not really. You're as much a lord as I am a nun. And I've never looked good in a habit.
Get out of here! Or I'll have you clapped
Okay.
in the stocks.
Good man. Up here I've got my own room. So is that it? Or what? Oh, game. Game. Is it gonna save? Oh, good. Oh, quest. Epilogue, huh? Oh, my nourishment's at 120. Why? Oh, 1 point off of agility. I wonder. Okay, XP just for firing the villain, it's retarded. Alright, so what's this quest telling me to do? What's it say I'm doing? Go to the upper castle during the day to meet Margrave Jobst.
Day, Henry?
Good day, random guard dude. Let's go meet this Tonka, whoever he is. Let's scrub the grime off me, hadn't I? This was at 14. I suppose because of all the damage on the stuff, let's fix it up. Let's see what have we got. That's was. I want that. Let's get 10 of them out. These out. So, first of all, let's start with armoured stuff. That's armouring done. That's blacksmithing done. That's carving done. Okay, I need Martinez kits out. One of these. Two of those out. Oh, I didn't need any. Rest of it out, I suppose. Put the rest of it away, I guess. Let's put them away, that. That's that done. Now I need food out. 3 of them. 1 of them. 1 of them. 3 of these out. 1 of these out. That's it. Need 2 of them out. I need a wine. There we go. That's that side. That's that side. Then over there. Behind the box. Sleep it safe for an hour, so I don't have to fix all my shit up. Have a drink. Ah, that's better. Good coffee. I don't know why my nourishment's above 100. Right, 1 second. Sort some out. Right, so I need to go find Margrave. Jobs, don't know whatever his name is.
Yeah.
See what he wants from me. Right, we're here. See what's afoot, shall we? Shenanigans, probably. Anytime game.
Ah, Hal. Are you going to the meeting with Margrave Jobst as well?
I am. What about Istvan? I assume...
That we didn't catch him? No. Because if we had, you'd be the first one to know. Have no fear. We'll get him eventually.
I hope you're right. Anyway, let's go and see what Jobst wants from us.
Indeed. What does this Tinkerbell want from us?
My lords, Christ's blessings on you all.
And on you, Lord Capon.
And this is my son, Henry.
I didn't know you had a son, Sir Redzig.
It came as a bit of a surprise to young Henry, too.
This gentleman here is John II of Liechtenstein, a member of my council.
I'm honored, gentlemen.
Come join us.
Alright.
Margrave Jobst was just about to tell us the reason for his visit. Your Grace?
I'm sure we're all agreed, Your Graces, that all this unrest must come to an end. This kingdom needs a king.
Question is, which king?
My cousin, Wenceslas IV, who is being held in captivity.
I have to confess, my lord, that your answer surprises me a little. If I'm correctly informed, until recently you sided with your other cousin, Sigismund.
That I cannot deny, and I have always stated my position plainly. But times have changed.
How have they changed, Your Grace?
Sir, there is one thing on which we undoubtedly concur. That King Wenceslas, unfortunately, did not inherit his father's gift for governing. Sadly, his failures have cost Bohemia, the nobles, and our whole Luxembourg family a great deal of money and effort.
How did the king let it go so far, damn it?
It's in his temperament. He cares only for wine, women, and the hunt. A king, in fact, who never wanted to be king.
Then why didn't he just let his brother have the crown?
Young sir, the crown weighs heavy when there are duties to be performed. But to surrender it means giving up great privileges, too.
But he did surrender power to his brother. When things started getting out of hand, Wenceslas appealed to Sigismund for help in restoring order.
What, you're saying Wenceslas invited him here?
This is starting to make my head spin.
Actually, it makes sense when you think about it. Sigismund wanted to re-establish the power of the whole House of Luxembourg. He thought if he helped Wenceslas win the imperial crown, in return his brother would help him become the king of the Romans, and leave the actual reign of Bohemia and the empire to him. Sigismund would govern, while Wenceslas could carry on doing what he was best at, enjoying the life of the imperial court.
Why wasn't Wenceslas crowned Holy Roman Emperor long ago? He was already elected king of the Romans. All he had to do was go and let the Pope put the damn imperial crown on his head.
Who knows? Maybe he'd prefer hunting and consorting with bathhouse wenches to spending time with the Pope.
Well, so would I must admit.
Sigismund's plan seemed sound enough, but it didn't quite work out, did it?
It worked for a while. He and his brother reached an agreement. Sigismund took over administration of the kingdom and began planning Wenceslas's journey to Rome for the imperial coronation. But then Wenceslas realized he would just be a puppet with a crown.
I must say, Margrave Jobs, Wenceslas and Prokop behave rather like naughty children in need of a good clout about the ears.
Sigismund would agree. He was already planning his rule of Bohemia, and all of a sudden, the rug was pulled from under him. I'd say he lost his patience and decided he'd drag Wenceslas to the coronation kicking and screaming if he had to. Just like a naughty child, as you say.
So he abducted him and your brother Prokop too, if I heard correctly.
Correct.
And you helped him do it, if I heard correctly.
Yes, your graces, it's true. I was there when Sigismund abducted Prokop. I thought everything could somehow be settled, that we could make my brother see sense. But Sigismund just wanted to put an end to the dispute once and for all, whatever the cost. There was nothing I could do to stop him. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. The worst of it is that it was all for nothing. Instead of putting a stop to the revolt, it escalated it, and the result is this chaos we have today.
That's true enough, sir. But I must admit now, I'm not sure what your position is. The king is incompetent, but we must protect him?
The simple truth, gentlemen, is that for all of Wenceslas's faults, we have no one else.
So we'll have to make do with his idleness.
People like him, though.
But what can we do now? Sigismund has the League of Lords behind him. Otto von Bergolf, Heinrich von Rosenberg.
The situation has gotten completely out of control. Now even the nobles of the League of Lords are realizing that Sigismund wasn't the right choice.
So now Bergolf is on your side. Are we to assemble an army together with him and face Sigismund on the field of battle?
We're not in Hungary now. Such affairs may be settled elegantly, without unnecessary hostilities or expenses. I have negotiated an alliance with the Hungarian bishops, the Polish, and of course the Czech nobility, against Sigismund. Every day he is losing the ground under his feet, and that's why I need your help too.
What kind of help, though? Sigismund has a massive army, and Rosenberg, Berghoff, and Prague are behind him. Do you have an army you could face him with?
But that's not what I mean at all. There's been a revolt against Sigismund in Hungary, partly due to my efforts, and now he'll have to choose whether he wants to gain the Bohemian crown, which is a very risky enterprise, or hold on to the Hungarian one. He can't have both. And there's a tough struggle awaiting him in Hungary. I'm not sure he'll win, and Rosenberg and Berghoff know it too. They're not stupid. If the Bohemian nobility stands together, they will turn.
We are men of little consequence, Margrave. Radzig here lost everything because of his alliance with Wenceslas. Sir Divish came within a hair of the same fate. Even Rattay is defenseless against Sigismund and the League of Lords.
What's more, your grace, King Wenceslas languishes in captivity in Vienna. He can't rule too well from there.
And what do you propose? To sit with your arms folded till the Bohemian lands are turned to ashes like Skalitz? We have to put a stop to this senseless war!
And do you know, sir, what the true position of the League of Lords is?
I'm not on the best of terms with them at this moment, so you'll have to ask them yourselves.
Yes. Why not? I'll go and visit Berghoff at his castle and we'll see what he tells me.
You know, that's not such a bad idea, young sir.
True. Oh, a little risky.
I doubt Berghoff would harm a blue-blooded envoy. And you can find out what he has to say about developments and what the League of Lords is planning. Then we'll decide what to do next.
I'll help you compose a letter to him.
I'd like Henry to come with me.
Why not? He's proven himself an able investigator, and he'll also be a good bodyguard if anything should happen.
And I'll send Sir John here to Gutenberg to be my eyes and ears there. I believe both your reports will help us get a better grip on the situation.
When can you set out?
Just as soon as I've packed my things.
Excellent. Margrave Jobst and I will draft a letter. Get ready, and we'll meet back here.
Now what? Talk to your father. Shall do. Let's see what Radzig has to say.
We have to ask in a way that won't leave Sir Capon being run out of the castle with a whip.
Exactly.
How about
There he is. Right, what's up, Radzig?
So what do you think of it all, Sir Divish? I think I don't know what to think. That makes two of us. If I didn't know anything about Jobst, I'd say he's right and absolutely truthful. But I've heard too much about him already. Likewise. But I do feel he's the one with the best chance to put things right. Well, we'll see what we learn from Burgo. If the League of Lords stands with Sigismund, then our chance is paid, in spite of everything I've said. We shall see. We shall see. So, it looks like you're off on a mission.
Yes. I can't wait.
I don't want to dampen your spirits, my boy, but watch out. These are evil times, and who knows what can happen along the way. Not to mention that Bergov is no saint.
Don't worry.
I know. You've shown you can fend for yourself, but do take care. You'll be traveling as Lord Capon's bodyguard. You'll be there to make sure nothing untoward happens to him. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears wide open. What Bergov tells you is one thing, but what you see may be quite another.
Rest assured, Father.
And don't get embroiled in anything else. Just hand over the letter, hear out his reply, and return.
Yes.
Very well. Bergov is at Trotsky Castle. I think you'll find it quite an eye-opener. It's one of the finest castles in the land. It's 3 days' ride from here, so unless you hit a snag along the way, you'll be back soon enough. Any questions?
I'm getting a bit lost in the Luxembourg lineage. It all seems a bit too tangled.
The Luxembourgs have ruled the Empire and Bohemia for almost 100 years now. Emperor Charles brought this land to prominence. When he was in power, things had never been so good. Wenceslas and Sigismund are his sons, but by different mothers. Jobst and Prokop are their cousins. They were entrusted with governing Moravia. But instead, they've been in a bitter armed feud for years, and now Sigismund's fallen out with Wenceslas. Wenceslas also had another brother, the youngest, John of Görlitz, who was most probably poisoned. They seem like a hot-blooded lot. It's hard to keep up with their affairs, since they tend to change their alliances from one day to the next.
Who is he really, this Jobst?
The cousin of King Wenceslas. He's the Margrave of Moravia. I admit I don't know what to make of him myself. Until recently, he was allied with the League of Lords. For a time, he even served Rupert of the Palatinate against the king. And now suddenly, he's reversed his position. I don't know what led him to do it, and one can't help being suspicious. It's best to keep a watchful eye on him. But he really is the leader of the resistance against Sigismund these days. We'll just have to see how it all turns out.
I'm a bit concerned so many people seem to think so little of King Wenceslas. You knew him, didn't you? What's he really like?
Well, there's no straightforward answer to that question. He certainly makes a great hunting and drinking companion, but he can be very fiery and impetuous when things don't go how he'd like them. He never had much of a head for high office. He finds it tiresome. But once a man's grasped the scepter, it's hard to let it go again. You can't just abscond. You've seen for yourself what happens when he disappears for a few months. Better a bad but legitimate king than a bloody war over the throne.
Who is this Prokop that Jobst spoke of?
Jobst's brother, the king's cousin. He and Jobst warred over Moravian supremacy for years. Then, they were allies for a while, betrayed Wenceslas and sided with Rupert of the Palatinate. But after Sigismund abducted Wenceslas, Prokop fomented a revolt against him, and Sigismund had him captured. Politics, make of it what you will. I, for one, can't make head or tail of it most of the time.
The League of Lords and that Berghoff we're off to see. Who are they exactly?
The lords of the powerful houses. Heinrich of Rosenberg, Otto of Berghoff, Heinrich of Radetz, and others. They're unhappy with the way their influence declined after Wenceslas surrounded himself with the lesser orders of nobility. They abducted the king years ago and made him bow to their will. They got away with it that time, and now they've joined forces with Sigismund and done it again. But now it seems that Sigismund's behavior is starting to rub them up the wrong way, so they may well be thinking twice. We'll see what Berghoff has to say.
I don't know all that much about Sigismund.
He's the king's younger brother and king of Hungary in his own right. 7 years ago, he led a crusade against the Turks and was defeated at Nicopolis. Some say it was due to the recklessness of the French knights, most of whom were mercenaries. Sigismund is ambitious and capable. He might well make a better ruler than Wenceslas, but he's arrogant, and to our misfortune, brutal. Not long ago, he himself was held captive by the Hungarian nobility. They dislike him as much as some of the Czech and German noblemen do his brother Wenceslas. Ironically, Wenceslas joined forces with Jobst to liberate him. And now this is how Sigismund repays his brother. There's no doubt about it, God does move in mysterious ways.
Sure does.
Rupert of the Palatinate. That's a name I hadn't heard before today.
Rupert is the Prince Elector of the Palatinate.
What's a Prince Elector?
The Prince Electors are dignitaries of the Holy Roman Empire who have the right to elect the King of the Romans, who would then be crowned Holy Roman Emperor by the Pope. Rupert took the title for himself with the help of 3 other Prince Electors, even though Wenceslas had already been appointed. Some of the nobility in the empire recognized Rupert's claim, but when he went to Rome to be crowned emperor, it turned into a fiasco. Now he's doing his utmost to get Wenceslas to acknowledge him, but so far without success. So, now we have 2 kings of the Romans. Jobst sided with Sigismund for a while, but now he's switched allegiance. He seems to do that quite a lot.
Somebody who switch sides that often. Gotta keep a beady eye on that type of person.
That young man, Sir John of Liechtenstein. Why is he here?
The Liechtensteins are a powerful Austrian family, with estates in Austria and Moravia. Sir John sits on Jobst's council. Since the king's being held captive in Vienna, I suppose it makes sense to have a powerful Austrian house as allies. It could be very useful.
Could be. The Austrians were kind of powerful.
That's about all.
Very well. Take the letter from Sir Hanush. And good luck, son.
Alright. Take the letter. Cutscene time.
I believe we have written it well, gentlemen.
Without a doubt. No one could deduce from this whether we are Sigismund's allies or foes.
I must travel back to Brno now, but soon I will go to Brandenburg and I will stop here on the way back. By then, Sir Capon should be back and we can discuss how to proceed.
Right. Before you leave, my lord, there is one thing that gives me no rest. Why did Sigismund come as a foe? It makes no sense.
If I may, sir, I think I can explain.
Oh, please enlighten us, young sir.
I live not far from Hungary, where Sigismund reigns. It is a savage country, and the constant war with the Turks has hardened the people. They need a monarch with an iron hand. So when Sigismund felt the wind of revolt, he reacted as he would at home. Only what works on the Hungarian nobles does not work here in Bohemia.
Bringing order is one thing, but slaughtering and pillaging with a horde of barbarians quite another. What purpose does that serve?
But Sigismund did give the Bohemian nobles a chance to take his side. It was only when they refused his ultimatum that he lost patience and took to the sword.
As for the barbarians, he could afford nothing better. The Hungarian nobility would gain nothing from joining his campaign in Bohemia. He didn't have enough coin for a regular army, and so he recruited the Cumans. What he does not pay them, they make up for in plunder.
But in the end, he didn't have enough to even satisfy the Cumans. That's why he raided Gutenberg and Skalitz. He wanted the silver.
That makes sense.
My lords, how's the letter coming along?
It's done.
Then we can be on our way.
Now remember what we said, boy. All you have to do is deliver the letter, listen to the answer, and come back here. Don't provoke Berghoff in any way.
Provoke? Me? We'll be back in a few days. Farewell, your graces. Come, Henry, my men are waiting.
I wish you Godspeed.
Alright. Alright, let's go speak with Lord Capon. It's in your hands, as it were. Tell him we're ready to skedaddle at his leisure. As soon as the game feels the need to load, of course. Congratulations, you've completed the main storyline. If you like, you can still embark on side quests and activities or just wander the world. You can finish the game anytime by joining Sir Hans Capon's squad. Well. Need a bed to snooze in then. Or better yet. Let's have a save your schnapps actually. That way I can always come back. What the hell are you doing with that chair? Hans? Hans? You've got a chair attached to you, fella.
So, can we set off now, Henry?
Sure can.
Of course. I can't wait.
So, to horse! The Lord of Berghoff is bound to be waiting as eagerly.
Alright. Try and lose the chair. Oh, this is not going well. It's already sliding. Hands. It's literally have to die, isn't it? Reload. The bugs in this game, some of them are interesting, we'll call them. Some of them are downright annoying, but this one's an interesting one. I'd love to know how the chair's stuck to him. It's not like you can pick the chairs up or knock them about. They're solid objects. I mean, they can interact with them, move them about to sit down, but they move them right back. It's basically an animation, and that's it. So how a chair got stuck to him, I haven't the slightest. Seems a bit odd to me, but... No chair this time, right? Old people dropping in on the horses.
So,
come on, game. See if Sir Hans can ride out this time, shall we? Come on. Run. You know you can do it. Do it.
So, how is life as a highborn bastard?
I'm getting used to it.
What about Rodzig? Has he accounted for not owning up to you the whole time?
He explained it. All will be well, I think.
Glad to hear it. It's far more acceptable for a nobleman to befriend a noble bastard than a blacksmith's son.
Mind you, don't come to blows with a blacksmith, my young lord.
Funny.
What do you think about Sir Jobst and his plan?
Well, I admit all the scheming has me a little lost. I thought Sigismund was the devil, Wenceslas a martyr, those on his side the heroes, and those against him the villains. I believed we'd rescue the king and all would be well again, but now it looks a lot more complicated.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't expect the noble lords to be as noble as the angels, but I hadn't expected such a sewer. They behave like children.
I can't fathom how after all this backstabbing they're somehow still on speaking terms.
I don't know either. Beggars believe.
They all believe it's not personal. Whatever gains them
Did you know
some
that King
small
Wenceslas is
advantage.
such a
Feckless drunkard? Not really. And to be honest, I'm not sure I wanted to know. I slept better believing my fate was watched over by a wise and powerful monarch.
So did I.
What a dismal world when you can't keep trusting your own king.
On the other hand, times were better with him here than with him gone.
Isn't that the truth?
You can handle a bad king as long as you've got relatively decent nobles underneath.
What do you think of Sigismund?
If I were him, I'd have had enough of my brother even sooner.
But he's a monster. Look at what those hordes of his are getting up to here.
You can
What do you
do
think of Skalitz?
it's when you get
True
the
enough.
king wiping out the good
On the other
nobles
hand,
because it
if
suits the
Wenceslas and Prokop
purpose.
hadn't done
That's
what
why shit gets
none of this would have
sideways.
happened.
No one forced him to burn Skalitz.
That's a fact. But he couldn't let him shit all over him either. Not that I'm defending him.
He's a weasel.
No doubt about that.
Do you know anything about Prokop?
Sir Hanush could tell you a thing or two about him.
Why?
Last winter, a certain Sir Jan Sokol of Lambert, a well-known knight, or robber baron to some, tried to occupy the city of Iglau, which was on the orders of none other than Prokop.
And what has that got to do with Hanush?
Well, he was there with him. Of course, that's not something to brag about in front of Jobst.
And what was it all about?
They wanted to occupy a city that was on the side of the League of Lords, but despite there being several hundred strong, they didn't take it. For one thing, they couldn't get past the Iglau women, with their pitchforks and cauldrons of hot water.
I would never have thought of Sir Hanush as such a rebel.
And have you heard anything about Rupert of the Palatinate?
A little. He can't manage even to wrest power from a king who doesn't much care for ruling and isn't fighting back. That doesn't seem like a man who has what it takes to rule. And that's all I need to know.
Not wrong.
And that Berghoff we're going to see, do you know anything about him?
I haven't heard much good about him, but I have a feeling that some other nobles are quite in awe of him. And his castle is apparently quite impressive. I'll be interested to see for myself.
And what about the League of Lords?
Wealthy, pompous. The king doesn't seem to like them much. He's chosen to let the lesser ranks of the nobility into his circle, men like your father. I admit I don't blame him one bit. But the Lords weren't happy about their lost influence, so they put their foot down. If I were Wenceslas, I'd have let them hang after they abducted me the first time. But he gave them seats at the provincial council? Little wonder they're back in their old tricks.
Because he's too lazy. He just breeds instability when they've got somebody who's supposed to be the supreme ruler of the place, just letting people run riot. If you're going to rule, you have to dispense with niceties sometimes. In the monarchy sort of setup. Not that democracy's any bloody fair shake of things, because it's shit. Tyranny of the idiot majority. Sometimes the majority makes wise decisions. Sometimes they make stupid decisions. More often than not, they put off decisions because they haven't got the balls to make the decisions, or the spine to put up with stuff. Too unwilling to suffer for the short term to gain in the long term. Too willing to gain in the short term to suffer in the long term. It's like, oh, this sounds like a great idea, let's do it now. Yeah, but this in the long term will shaft us. Nah, it'll be fine. I'm like, what? What do I know? What do I know? Just somebody who read history, enjoyed it, actually studied it rather than glanced through it. Fortunately I haven't studied it for many years, so it's all forgotten. But what I do remember is that's more than bloody most people these days, it would appear. What most people seem to understand about history you can write on the back of a postage stamp. Which is why they keep making terrible, stupid decisions and ideas and ignoring things and pretending they know better and acting like certain things in history are written in stone despite knowing full well history is written by the victor. More often than not. Not generally incorrect, like just generally avoiding mentioning the other side's view. Or the other side's events. Downplaying them, upplaying their own. If you read history properly, you can get the accurate view of history. Unfortunately, too much of history, the more modern sense, is, how should we put it, fake news. And boy do you get shafted for trying to point it out. You're clearly a conspiracy theorist, man. Shut up. That's, totally wrong, yeah. Like these people that seem to think the monarchies and all that of the past were horrible, horrible things. That's why it's such a great thing nowadays, right? It's all so terrible, right? And the things we got in this place were so much better, right? Okay, it was just a different flavour of shit. And there lies the problem. That's the hands. Alright.
How about it, Henry? Can we go? Are you ready for this?
Sure am.
Of course. At last I'll get to see more of the country and have a bit of an outing.
Quite.
Indeed. Oh, achievement unlocked would appear. The end. That's what I am done now. Finish the main storyline.
Let's get to
not
it
many
then.
people do.
I finally have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile. We're helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty, I'd rather find that whoreson who murdered my parents, get the sword back from him, and skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I have a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming.
Indeed.
Forward, men! Audentes fortuna juvat!
Indeed. PS4 as well, while you're at it. The end. 2 years' time we'll be playing the sequel, I'm sure. Give us a sec. For at best. Maybe. I mean, I'm stoked for a sequel to this. I love this game. It's great. I'll add it onto my top favourite games list, I would. That's awesome. Like I say, it's just a shame about all the bugs, but then again, I mean, if I can give Bethesda passes and Obsidian passes for New Vegas and Fallout 4 and 3 and all that, I think I can give a studio with much less of a budget on their first game a break, you know? So, yeah. Yes folks, that is Kingdom Come Deliverance. Fantastic game. Marred by occasional bugs and glitches and crashes, but what game isn't these days? But for what you get, you know, the in-depth combat, you know, skills, you know, all that kind of stuff. Actually, armour that actually is armour rather than just an outfit, you know. Rather than a fashion statement as such. I mean, you can wear stuff as a fashion statement in game for your charisma, but if you're in battle, you know, it's going to shaft you. If you're going into battle in just a t-shirt and shorts and thinking you're looking swell, you might look swell, but you're going to be a swell corpse, you know. You know, the variety of weapons, you know, different fighting styles, all that kind of shit. Like I said, just the combat alone makes this game great, with its, you know, with the combo system and the kind of 5-point star thing, you know, you can slice from top, from bottom, left, bottom right, left and right, stab. You know, there's blocking, you can use shields, swords, maces, axes, long swords, short swords, hunting swords, bows, different types of armour, heavy plate stuff, or just leather jerkins or what have you. Yeah, I mean, there's a universe out there where the Fallouts and the Elder Scrolls are this in depth, you know, or that these developers made a Fallout in an alternate universe and all that kind of stuff. Like I say, I'm very much looking forward to the next game that they make, the War Studios. Obviously, I mean, they've said that they basically had to split the game that they intended to do in half. And this is the first half, or first third, or whatever, depending on how big the story is, I don't know. But the next game will continue on Henry's story. Obviously, I mean, like, as you can see, we didn't get his sword back, we didn't get the full vengeance, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, once they finish the story of Henry, I mean, I'd love to see him do Crusades stuff, English Civil War, French Civil Wars, all the various wars in Germany, the Reformation wars and all that sort of stuff. All sorts. I mean, Scandinavian stuff, Russian stuff with what's it called? The what were they called? The Muscovites, or whatever. Muscovy, or whatever it was called, and the unification of Russia and all that. All sorts. There's all sorts of different things of history they could do that I'd be stoked to see them do. But like I said, I want to focus on the next one first, and that's the big one I want to see next. It's definitely on the top, up at the top of my list of games that I'm eyeballing in the future. You know, the first detail I hear when I say Kingdom Come 2, you know, I'll be there ready. It's one of the few games, the very, very few games that I would still pre-order when I hear about it. You know, 99.9% of games I won't bother pre-ordering. I won't even be bothered in pre-ordering new Fallout. I'll just wait, you know, and get it when I can. If I can't get it when it initially comes out, I don't really care. Hell, I might not even get it when it initially comes out. Same with next Elder Scrolls, to be quite honest. I think, what's the other series? The Yakuza series. Any game that comes out in that, I'm pretty likely to pre-order. Kingdom Comes is another one of those series where I'll have to pre-order them. Because they've earned it, because this game is great. Like I say, you have to look past the glitches and stuff. Like I say, it's an unfortunate aspect. Bugs and glitches and crashes and all that stuff, and it's one of those cases of would it have been better if they'd have pushed the release date back? Possibly, but they might have gone bankrupt and never released the game, and that'd have been even worse. Would have been deprived of this awesome title, So yeah, that's my thoughts on the game. It's excellent. Anybody who's interested should definitely check it out. If you're not entirely sure, just wait till it's dealed. I'm sure it will do. It's been dealed many a time already. It's done well enough, where it gets dealed pretty regularly and pretty steeply as well. I think it was dealed by 33% not too long ago on Xbox Live. So I mean, imagine Steam kind of sales and stuff. How much I'm dropping that. So like I say, if it's something that if you like your open world RPGs or just RPGs in general or historical stuff, definitely check this game out. It's definitely worth it. But yeah, now that I've finished that for today, folks, that'll be me for today. I'm not sure what I'll be playing next on the stream. I have an idea. I have an inkling. There's another game I'd like to finish the DLC for another series of games I very much enjoy. That is one of those that are underpraised, as it were. That had its issues, but it's good. I won't keep you in suspense. I'm basically on about the new Deus Ex thing, so that's the one I'm thinking about playing. It's that or another one. There's another one because the what's it called? Star Ocean on PS4. That's the other one I intend to. It's either that or Star Ocean I'll be doing next, or finishing off or what have you. But that's for me to decide in the future. Like I say, I am done for today. So thanks to all those that have hung out and followed and what have you. And if you haven't already, I would appreciate a follow. And if you're interested in, past VODs or what have you, or joining the Discord, info's in chat, feel free to check those out. But yeah, folks, it's fun as always. Great fun as always, in fact. And I will see you all next time. Take care, folks.